Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Youth Man. I don't know about you, but when it comes to upgrades for my home theater, I feel like a kid at Christmas. In this video, I'm gonna be doing an unboxing and a brief overview of a brand new upgrade that I'm extremely excited about, the JVC DLA-NX7 4K projector. Now, before we jump into the video, if you want to learn how to maximize your home theater through various product reviews that I do here on the channel, as well as offering tips and tricks, be sure to hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified when the next video drops. All right, guys, so I have had my home theater for about 13 years now. I started out with a Panasonic AE3000U. One of the biggest reasons why I went with the 3000U, if you watch my last video, I shared about why I went with a 2.35:1 aspect ratio in my room. And one of the things that I needed to be able to do, or I wanted to be able to do, was to be able to easily switch between like 16:9 format and the 2.35:1. And the Panasonic was probably one of the first projectors out there that offered a feature called lens memory. If you're not familiar with what lens memory is, I've got a link to it right up here in the card above. You can check out that video, but it offered that, and the JVC was also the only other company at that time. The problem was the Panasonic was about $2,500. I think I paid for it. And the JVC at that time was like $6,000. I'm like, oh my goodness, you know, there's a big difference between that. I just can't go there at this point. Later on down the road, several years, I ended up selling that, upgrading to a Panasonic AE8000U, a little bit brighter projector, had a couple of new features. It automatically would switch between 16:9 and 2.35. It would recognize the format and just automatically change, and so that was cool. And then I found out a couple of years ago that Panasonic was no longer going to be making home theater projectors. And honestly, I was pretty bummed. I really liked the Panasonic, had a beautiful picture quality. It was really nice. It was only a 1080p, but still, it had everything I needed in a home theater projector at that time. So I began to look at other manufacturers. And again, I always had JVC on my, man, that's my goal, but it's just not happening. And so I ended up upgrading to the Epson 5040 UB projector, which I have installed now and have been using that for several years. It's been a great projector, but once again, in the back of my mind, I've just always wanted to have a JVC projector. And once native 4K came out, I had just been eyeballing the JVC, the NX7, NX5, NX9, one of those three. I knew probably I would never be able to afford the NX9. And typically in pretty much everything that I buy, I don't like buying the cheapest, but I typically don't like buying the most expensive as well. Typically what I've found out through experience, when you buy the cheapest option, there's usually a reason why it's cheap. They're going to cut corners, or it's not going to have the features that maybe you want. And a lot of times I'll end up buying that cheap thing and then literally probably in the first year realize, man, it's not really what I wanted. And so I end up having to sell it, losing money, upgrading. And so I end up losing money and end up still spending and buying the same thing that I initially wanted anyway. And so with the JVC NX7, it's kind of right in between the 5 and the 9. And so I am super, super excited to get this unboxed. And over the next several weeks, we'll be doing probably more videos on this. It won't be a review per se, but basically I'll be sharing my experiences with that, getting it installed. I'll initially be utilizing the, it's got like an auto calibration from my understanding. So I'm going to try that first just to see how well that does. But then I've also reached out to a gentleman, a new friend of mine that does like professional calibration. Like he's got some Mac Daddy gear, crazy stuff to be able to really dial it in. And so I'll likely get him over here and we'll do a long video on that and share kind of his process of what he goes through to calibrate a projector. Well, guys, enough talking. Let's get to unboxing. All right, guys, I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm just a little excited. So let's get this thing unboxed, man. So this will be my first native 4K projector. And I don't know if you guys are rocking a 4K. If you've got a native 4K projector, let me know down in the comments below. Love to know what you guys are using. Now, I know, some of you guys are going to ask, well, how come you didn't go with a Sony? Honestly, I mean, Sony, I've heard nothing but great things about them. Sony makes a great native 4K projector. But again, it just kind of comes back to the fact that I've always really enjoyed what I've seen from JVC. They just produce a really, really nice picture quality. Black levels on JVC projectors are breathtaking. I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. So one thing I really love about JVC is that black level, the contrast that you get from it is just phenomenal. So really excited to see, when I look at my previous Panasonic, whether it was the 8000U or the 4000, or I'm sorry, the 3000, both of those had not real good black levels. Even the Epson, it's decent, but blacks are gray. They're not black. So when you talk about like the gray bars on a projector, that's why. So when you hear people talk about gray bars on a projector, that's what they're referring to. They don't really come out like pitch black. And so I'm excited to see how the JVC, like the black levels on it, because every one that I've ever seen is just breathtaking. I mean, it's like blacks are black, contrast is gorgeous, colors pop. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this unboxed. So it comes double boxed, really nice thick box on this one. So inside the box we have our JVC remote control, as well as some AAA batteries, a 3-prong IEC power cable, owner's manual and warranty information, and of course the projector itself. Let's go ahead and take off the outer wrapping. Let's see what she looks like. Good golly. That is a massive projector, guys. Holy cow. Let me give you a size comparison here. There's a water bottle. That's crazy. Oh my goodness, that's gorgeous. Take a look at the front. Man, you've got these massive vents here, one on each side. That's incredible. Let's take off the front cap here. Oh yeah. Man, that is just a beautiful piece of machinery. Now, honestly, even though mine's outside of my room, I really like that this unit is black. Man, that just looks so clean. On the rear of the unit, we have a 3D synchro port, 2 HDMI inputs, RS232C, a service port, LAN connection, a trigger input, as well as some manual controls for power, as well as the menu system. In the middle, we have easy access to be able to change and clean the filter, as well as some massive vents to help keep this unit cool, and then of course our power connection at the bottom. All right guys, before I get my Epson uninstalled and install the JVC, one thing that I'm considering is, would it be helpful, even though these are way different price extremes, and they're really probably not even in the same category, but would it be beneficial if I maybe showed kind of like some side-by-side comparisons of the Epson 5040UB, which is a 4K projector. It's not a true native 4K, and kind of put that side by side with the JVC native 4K, and maybe do a video on that. If that's something that you'd be interested in, let me know down in the comments below. Honestly, I'm not super knowledgeable in the video aspect, and especially when it comes to calibration. So my Epson 5040UB isn't professionally calibrated. I did have a friend of mine come over He's been on the channel. Brad, he's come over and helped me to kind of dial it in. But I wouldn't say that, I mean, we didn't use any instrumentation to be able to measure and to truly calibrate it. So I don't know if that would be any value to you guys at all, having an uncalibrated projector and versus, you know, another one that whether it's out of the box or calibrated. So anyways, I'm really just thinking that through. Again, let's have a conversation down below. Let me know if you guys would benefit from that. I'm even open to suggestions on how I should do that. My initial thought is, you know, I could try just an out of the box for both of them. Reset the Epson to factory default settings, and then just, you know, do some video on that. The other thing that I could do is maybe take some video footage of the Epson like it is, kind of semi-calibrated, reset it to factory settings, and take some video of that just so I have some footage and use the same footage that I'm capturing in both of those. Then I would take the JVC, capture some footage of it out of the box settings, maybe do the auto calibration, capture those same footage. And then also when a friend of mine comes over and calibrates the system professionally, then do those same you know, video. Again, it's going to be hard because those are going to be different time periods. You know, I would be able to do some of those the same day, some of them aren't going to be the same day. I can, of course, lock in all of the parameters as far as they would all be using the same pre-pro, they would all be using the same HDMI cable. So all of those elements would remain the same. Lighting conditions would be the same. I would probably film everything at night where it's pitch black in here. So it's very light controlled, so light wouldn't be an issue. And of course with my camera, I can lock down things like exposure, aperture, shutter speed, so that none of those elements change. But again, I just don't know how beneficial that would be to you guys. And honestly, that would be a huge amount of work. I'm willing to do it if you guys are truly interested, and if it would be a benefit to you. So again, just let me know down in the comments. And before I wrap up this video, just wanted to remind you there's about 2 weeks left on the giveaway. Right now in celebration of the 50,000 subscribers. Again, thank you guys so much for being a part of that. I'm offering a giveaway. It's a Valencia Verona theater seat. It's just a single seat. But if that's something that you're interested in, it's an $850 value. Head over to youthmanreviews.com/giveaway and you can enter for that. And guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. And as always, you guys be blessed, and we'll catch you in the next video.